Hey Bougie click. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for many of us, rejection. While it's often talked about in the context of men, it's time to shine a light on how women experience rejection just as intensely. From romantic setbacks to career disappointments, women navigate the sting of rejection with a unique blend of emotions and strategies. We're here to debunk the myth that women glide through life unscathed by rejection and explore the reality that everyone, regardless of gender, struggles with this universal challenge. So, grab a seat, and let's unravel the truth about rejection and how it impacts women just as much as men. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more insightful content.
I'ma make you a fan.
Women struggle with rejection just like men. Rejection, an experience that is universally dreaded yet encountered by all. No one relishes being turned down, whether it's for a job, a friendship, or a romantic connection. While society often highlights how men cope with rejection, it's crucial to recognize that women also struggle with it. Traditionally, men are portrayed as the primary victims of rejection, especially in dating and relationships. However, let's clarify, women do not manage rejection any better. The notion that men are the only ones who endure harsh rejection while women glide through life unscathed is a complete myth. Women experience rejection profoundly, respond intensely, and frequently process it in ways that may not always be graceful. Rejection is about preference, not attractiveness. Rejection is not a reflection of someone's attractiveness, but rather a matter of individual preference. Attraction is deeply personal and influenced by countless factors: chemistry, shared interests, emotional connection, and even timing. What one person finds appealing might not resonate with another, and that's completely natural. Just as people have favorite foods or music genres, they have preferences in relationships, too. Being rejected doesn't diminish your worth or beauty, it simply means that person is seeking something different, just as you have your own unique tastes. Instead of internalizing rejection as a flaw, it's helpful to see it as redirection toward those who genuinely appreciate and align with you. The double standard in rejection. There's a cultural expectation that men should handle rejection with dignity and move on, while women are often portrayed as the ones doing the rejecting. But when the roles are reversed, things can get messy. Women, just like men, can react poorly to rejection, sometimes with confusion, sometimes with anger, and sometimes with outright denial. Shoe Zero N Head's video The Female Dating Strategy highlights how certain online spaces encourage women to view themselves as the ultimate prize, reinforcing the idea that rejection is something they shouldn't have to experience. This mindset can lead to entitlement, where rejection is seen as an insult rather than a normal part of life. Emotional intensity and internalization. When women face rejection, whether romantic, professional, or social, their responses tend to be layered with emotional depth. When rejected, women may experience a range of emotions: hurt, frustration, and even disbelief. Some may internalize the rejection, questioning their worth, while others externalize it, blaming the person who rejected them. Women are socialized to be more in tune with their emotions, which can make rejection feel intensely personal. Instead of brushing it off as an isolated incident, they might replay every moment, searching for where they went wrong. Self-doubt, disappointment, and even shame creep in. And the internal dialogue? Ruthless. The whispers of insecurity can turn rejection into a full-blown existential crisis, where every detail is scrutinized with microscopic precision. This can manifest in passive-aggressive behavior, social media stalking, or even attempts to win the person back. In extreme cases, rejection can lead to resentment. Some women may lash out, labeling the person who rejected them as not good enough, homosexual, or incapable of recognizing their value. This reaction is not exclusive to women, but it's certainly not talked about enough. Social conditioning and expectation shock. From an early age, women are often encouraged to be likable, agreeable, and socially adept. This conditioning can make rejection hit harder. When a woman is turned down, whether it's for a job, friendship, or date, it disrupts the expectation that she should be naturally accepted and valued. It's a rude awakening that clashes with deeply ingrained social norms. Unlike men, who are often taught to keep trying and push through rejection, women sometimes internalize it as a fundamental flaw in themselves. Society often tells women that they are the ones who should be pursued, not the ones doing the pursuing. This can create an expectation that rejection is something they won't have to face. When reality doesn't align with this expectation, the response can be shock and indignation. Shoe Zero N Head's video critiques certain dating strategies that encourage women to see themselves as inherently superior to men, which can make rejection feel like a personal attack rather than a simple mismatch. This mindset can lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms. The ego factor and selective memory. Women, just like men, have egos, and rejection wounds that pride. Especially in scenarios where they felt like the outcome was guaranteed, rejection can feel like an outright betrayal of logic. A woman who is used to attention or approval may react with disbelief, sometimes veering into defensiveness or rationalization. "He must be intimidated by me, or she's obviously threatened by my success," are common self-soothing mechanisms to make rejection easier to swallow. Let's be honest, processing rejection gracefully takes effort, and women are just as guilty of struggling with it as men. Revenge and social retaliation. It's no secret that sometimes rejection doesn't just sting, it inspires action. Some women, rather than taking rejection in stride, turn it into a mission. Whether it's proving their worth, doubling down on self-improvement, or outright seeking revenge, in social, career, or romantic spaces, rejection can fuel a personal campaign of vindication. The classic "watch me glow up and make you regret it" mentality isn't uncommon. Women may not punch a wall in frustration the way some men do, but their responses can be just as calculated and intense. Men versus women, the rejection response spectrum. Men's responses to rejection. Men are socially conditioned to expect rejection more often, especially in dating. As a result, they may display a range of responses. Stoic acceptance: some men shrug it off, chalking it up to experience. Persistence: others might try again, assuming they need to improve their approach. Anger and bitterness: in extreme cases, rejection can lead to frustration, resentment, or harsh words. Humor as a defense mechanism: some men might joke about their rejection, turning it into a self-deprecating punchline. Overcompensation: a rejected man might suddenly hit the gym harder or flaunt his success to prove his worth. Women's responses to rejection. Women, being socially positioned as the ones usually pursued, can sometimes struggle when the tables turn. Here are some reactions. Confusion and shock: some women aren't used to rejection and may genuinely struggle to process it. Dismissive attitude: a woman might downplay the rejection, calling the rejecter not good enough or not her type anyway. Passive-aggressive behavior: this might show up as coldness, ignoring the person, or making snarky remarks. Self-doubt and overthinking: some women take rejection personally, wondering if they're unattractive or lacking in some way. Social media stalking: a rejected woman may cybersnoop to see if there's someone else. Entitlement and indignation: in extreme cases, rejection can be met with comments like, "Do you know what you're passing up?" Examples of women's reactions. Real-world examples abound, especially online. The "he must be gay" excuse: when a man turns down a woman, she might assume he's not into women rather than accepting that he's simply not interested. Public shaming on social media: some women vent about rejection online, painting the man as foolish for rejecting them. The "I'll show him glow up": a rejected woman might focus on self-improvement, not necessarily for herself, but to make the rejecter regret it. Rewriting the narrative: some women will claim they were the ones who weren't interested to avoid admitting they were rejected. Rejection can sometimes trigger extreme or unhinged reactions, particularly when emotions run high. Here are some of the more intense responses. Escalated emotional reactions. Obsessive behavior: some women may fixate on the rejection, repeatedly reaching out or trying to force interactions. Revenge fantasies. In extreme cases, rejection can lead to thoughts of revenge, such as spreading rumors or attempting to damage the rejector's reputation. Manipulation and guilt tripping. Some may try to make the rejector feel guilty, framing the rejection as cruel or unfair. Threats and harassment. While rare, some women may resort to aggressive messages, threats, or even stalking. Social and psychological fallout. Public humiliation. Some women lash out by exposing private conversations or fabricating stories to make the rejector look bad. Self-destructive behavior. Rejection can sometimes lead to reckless actions, such as excessive drinking, impulsive spending, or engaging in unhealthy relationships. Extreme social media behavior. This can include obsessive posting, cryptic messages aimed at the rejector, or even creating fake accounts to monitor them. Unhinged responses. Fake allegations. In rare cases, rejection can lead to false accusations, such as claiming mistreatment or misconduct. Sabotage attempts. Some may try to interfere with the rejector's personal or professional life, spreading misinformation or attempting to damage their reputation. Physical confrontation. Though uncommon, some women may react with physical aggression, such as throwing objects or attempting to intimidate the rejector. Rejection is a deeply personal experience, and while most reactions are within the realm of normal emotional processing, some individuals struggle to cope in a healthy way. Understanding these responses can help navigate difficult social situations with awareness and caution. If you're dealing with an extreme reaction, setting firm boundaries and prioritizing safety is key. Scientific studies on women and rejection. Research has shown that women experience rejection in complex ways, often influenced by social conditioning and emotional sensitivity. A study published in PLOS One examined how rejection intensity affects social behavior in women. It found that women with high rejection sensitivity were less likely to seek physical contact after being rejected, while those experiencing moderate rejection actively sought social connection as a coping mechanism. This suggests that rejection can lead to either withdrawal or increased social engagement, depending on its severity. Another study from the University of Ottawa explored how women respond to social exclusion. It found that women were most distressed when rejected by individuals they perceived as less attractive or unfriendly, rather than by socially dominant figures. This highlights the psychological complexity of rejection. Sometimes, it's not just about being excluded, but about who is doing the rejecting. The ego shock of settling and being rejected. When someone who believed they were settling gets rejected from the person they were settling for, it's a rude awakening. When people assume they deserve someone better, rejecting them flips their entire self-image upside down. The shock doesn't just come from the rejection itself, it's the realization that their assumed superiority may have been an illusion all along. Instead of gracefully moving on, they might react with frustration, disbelief, or even resentment. Why? Because now they have to face the unsettling truth: maybe they're not as desirable as they thought. Rejection in this scenario isn't just a blow to their pride, it forces them to reevaluate what they bring to the table and confront the possibility that they aren't as high value in the dating market as they imagined. Psychological effects of rejection. Rejection doesn't just hurt emotionally, it has measurable effects on cognitive function. Research published in Psychology Today revealed that recalling a painful rejection can lower a person's IQ score temporarily. This aligns with findings that rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain, explaining why it can feel so intense. These studies reinforce the idea that women, like men, struggle with rejection in profound ways. Whether through emotional withdrawal, retaliation, or cognitive distress, rejection is a universal challenge. No one escapes its sting. Men and women often react to rejection differently due to societal expectations, emotional conditioning, and individual personalities. While generalizations don't capture every case, there are some common tendencies. No one takes rejection well. The notion that only men struggle with rejection is outdated and inaccurate. Women take rejection hard, sometimes internalizing it, sometimes retaliating, and often rethinking everything about themselves in the process. Of course, there are plenty of women who take rejection maturely, just as there are men who don't. But the idea that rejection is a uniquely male struggle? That's a myth worth busting. At the end of the day, rejection is an equal opportunity heartbreak. No one has a monopoly on feeling hurt, embarrassed, or determined to prove their worth afterward. So, let's retire the idea that men are the only ones licking their wounds after rejection. Women struggle too. Healthy ways to handle rejection. Rejection is inevitable, but how people respond makes all the difference. Some strategies to deal with rejection in a healthy way include accepting and validating emotions. It's okay to feel hurt. Acknowledging emotions is the first step in processing them. Gaining perspective, recognizing that rejection isn't always personal can ease the sting. Learning and adapting, viewing rejection as an opportunity for growth helps build resilience. Seeking support, talking to friends, mentors, or therapists can provide reassurance and guidance. Moving forward, the best way to overcome rejection? Keep going. Every rejection is just another step towards success. Rejection stings, but it doesn't define anyone. Whether it's romantic heartbreak, a missed job opportunity, or an ignored text, everyone experiences rejection at some point. The key isn't avoiding it, it's learning how to handle it with grace and self-awareness. Conclusion: accepting rejection gracefully. Rejection is a part of life, and learning to handle it with maturity is crucial for personal growth. Instead of seeing rejection as an insult, it should be viewed as an opportunity to reflect and move forward. Women, just like men, should be encouraged to accept rejection with grace and understand that it's not a reflection of their worth. At the end of the day, rejection is an equal opportunity experience. No one is immune to it, and no one is entitled to avoid it. The sooner we acknowledge that women struggle with rejection too, the sooner we can foster healthier attitudes toward dating and relationships. Thanks for joining me today as we delved into the complex world of rejection and how it impacts women just as much as men. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. How do you handle rejection, and what advice would you give to those struggling with it? Remember, rejection is a universal experience, and together we can support each other in handling it with grace and resilience. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. What do you think? Do women struggle with rejection just like men? Let me know in the comments section. Stay bougie. Follow and support me. All links in bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check description for more info. New episodes every day.